Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Velma Kelly in an act of desperation.
My sister and I had an act that couldn't fly. My sister and I were headed straight for the top. My sister and I earned a week at least. Oh yeah. But my sister is now unfortunately deceased. I know it's sad, of course, but a fact is still a fact. And now all that remains is the remains of a perfect double act. Watch this. They have to imagine two people. It's swell with two people. First line.
Regina, stop! Do you know what everyone says about you? They say that you're a homeschool jungle freak who's a less hot version of me. So don't try to act so innocent. You can take that fake apology and shove it right up your So pick me. Choose me. Love me.
Then we.
What, do you have 4 boyfriends?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. Have fun having a baby at your prom. You know what? You're not as popular as you think you are.
I am very popular.
I'm sure you are. Very popular.
Single losers never have many friends.
You're a little cunt.
But I can't do it alone. Then she.
Snap out of it!
All aboard the toxic gossip train. Driving down the tracks of misinformation. The toxic gossip train. We got a one-way ticket to the manipulation station. Then we.
And if in fact you weren't washing your hair, as I suspect you weren't because you and if in fact you had heard the gunshot, Brooke Wyndham wouldn't have had time to hide the gun before you got downstairs, which would mean that you would have had to have found Mrs. Wyndham with a gun in her hand to make your story plausible. Isn't that right?
She's my age. Did she tell you that? How would you feel if your father married someone who was your age?
You, however, had time to hide the gun, didn't you, Chutney? After you shot your father.
I didn't mean to shoot him. I thought it was you walking through the door.
But I can't do it alone. She'd say,
It's just sister-like.
I'd say mad. She'd say, you're the cat's meow that went wild and crowd again. And she would.
You go to your closet and you select a lumpy blue sweater, for instance, because you're trying to tell the world that you take yourself too seriously to care about what you put on your back. But what you don't know is that that sweater is not just blue, it's not turquoise, it's not lapis, it's actually cerulean.
I'd good one.
But by the end of the day, it was like the more the merrier. And so, if the government can just get to the kitchen, rearrange some things, we could certainly party the behaviors. And in conclusion, may I please remind you that it does not say RSVP on the Statue of Liberty.
I saw you made a TikTok saying I was your best friend.
Yeah, isn't that our thing? We're best friends. You said I was your best friend one time. You said that once in a TikTok, so I was like, oh my god, we're best friends. You said it first.
Oh.
Yeah, you did say it first. Otherwise, I would never.
Oh, okay. You felt
But I
that
loved it. I was so excited. I was like, wow.
And then those two-bit Johnnies did it around. Cheered the band and pranked it in town. They nearly tore the balcony down. And we say, okay, boys, we're going home. But before we go, here's a few more parting shots. This we did in perfect unison.
Excuse me. Aren't you Marjorie, the current Miss Georgia World?
What did I say?
I'm Julia Sugarbaker, Suzanne Sugarbaker's sister. I couldn't help overhearing part of your conversation.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't know anyone was here.
Yes, and I gather from your comments there are a couple of other things you don't know, Marjorie. For example, you probably didn't know that Suzanne was the only contestant in Georgia pageant history to sweep every category except congeniality. That is not something the women in my family aspire to anyway.
It's really
Or that when she walked down the runway in her swimsuit, 5 contestants quit on the spot. Or that when she emerged from the isolation booth to answer the question, what would you do to prevent war? She spoke so eloquently of patriotism, battlefields, and diamond tiaras, grown men wet. And you probably didn't know, Marjorie, that Suzanne was not just any Miss Georgia. She was the Miss Georgia. She didn't twirl just a baton. That baton was on fire. And when she threw that baton into the air, it flew higher, further, faster than any baton has ever flown before, hitting a transformer and showering the darkened arena with sparks. And when it finally did come down, Marjorie, my sister caught that baton, and 12,000 people jumped to their feet for 16½ minutes of uninterrupted thunderous ovation as flames illuminated her tear-stained face. And that, Marjorie, just so you will know, and your children will someday know, is the night the lights went out in Georgia.